From KUNC and the NPR network, this is In The NoCo. I'm Erin O'Toole. Colorado is home to world-class skiing, with dozens of public resorts open to skiers of all levels and incomes. But private ski resorts for the ultra-wealthy are practically non-existent here. A newly proposed resort could add to Colorado's short list of private ski areas. Stagecoach Mountain Ranch would create an exclusive enclave of multi-million-dollar homes in Routt County. The area near Steamboat Springs was once home to a small ski area back in the 1970s. Now, an Arizona-based company wants to turn those 6,600 acres into a private ski area and golf course. Jason Blevins covers the ski industry and the outdoors for the Colorado Sun. He joins me now to discuss tensions over the plan and whether it might open the floodgates for more of these private ski areas in the future. Jason, welcome to In The NoCo.
Thanks, Erin. It's great to be here.
So Stagecoach Mountain Ranch would be a private community with a private ski area. And I want to get a sense of how unprecedented this is. Are there other private ski areas in the Mountain West?
Private ski areas are becoming increasingly popular. Started maybe 15 years ago with the Yellowstone Club up in Montana, and that has been wildly popular. Some 900 homeowners up there for this very large private ski area. And the success of the Yellowstone Club has sort of spurred other projects. Similarly, we have one in Colorado called Cimarron Mountain Club, which is a twist on the private ski area model with 1,700 plus acres, but only for 13 owners. And it's snowcat access, not chairlifts.
Oh, so wait. So you have to take a special snow vehicle just to get up there?
Yeah, exactly. You can't even drive up to your homes in the winter. You need to take a snow machine.
Wow, very exclusive sounding. Well, how has Colorado managed to only allow one private ski area, at least thus far?
Well, we have, a lot of very nice ski areas, as you know, across Colorado, the most skied state in the country. But as we are seeing across the West and really across the U.S., as crowds continue to grow, we've seen several record-setting years, both nationally and in Colorado. And that seems to be growing the appeal of these private ski hills where folks can buy a house. You have access to chairlifts, and private powder is actually a trademarked term by the Yellowstone Club.
Private powder. Okay. Well, let's talk about the plans for Stagecoach. Stagecoach Mountain is a privately owned mountain, and I was reading there was actually a ski area developed in the 70s. What does the new plan look like?
Exact details have not been proposed, but the operator of the Yellowstone Club in Montana is a company called Discovery Land Company. And Discovery Land Company, they run 35 private luxury resorts around the world. They have reached an agreement with the owners of Stagecoach Mountain, which did host a ski area for, I think, 3 years in the 1970s, and it closed down, went bankrupt. There are condos there next to the slopes. There are home sites all over. Beautiful hill, but it has been untouched for almost 50 years. And the family that has owned it has been seeking plans and looking for ways to develop this. And they just reached an agreement with Discovery Land Co. to develop a fishing, golf, and ski private resort for a limited number of owners who will own property there, very similar to what the Discovery Land Co. operates at Yellowstone Club.
But as you mentioned, this community has been there for a while. What about the homes or condos that are already there?
Yeah, so there's several hundred homeowners, property owners, people who have built homes on their property, and including condos and apartment complexes. And what's sort of riling some of those locals is the idea that there will be skiing, lift, serve skiing, possibly a gondola, serve skiing, golf, marina, all this stuff, which they will not be able to access, even though they technically are bordering the ski slopes. And as you can imagine, Erin, that is not sitting well with some of the locals in southern Routt County there.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. Well, Jason, as with so many development projects these days, there are a lot of strong opinions being voiced. What are the different sides saying here?
Well, it's important to note that these kind of projects do generate massive amounts of property tax revenue. So there's that on the plus side. Locals have a lot of concerns over environmental impacts with a golf course next to the watershed, the Stagecoach Reservoir, and there's a state park there. There's concerns over environmental impact that comes with home development and ski areas and all the different things on a piece of land that hasn't been developed. So a lot of interesting concerns there. It is zoned for some form of development around a ski area, though. So this isn't, an out of the blue plan. And it was once a ski area. So I think there's a lot of concern over making sure that if there is some development here, it is done in an environmentally sensitive way that protects the water and the wildlife in that area.
Well, assuming the Stagecoach development does go through, could it signal that Colorado might see more private ski areas in its future?
Have you ever seen that poster, like the ghost ski areas of Colorado? There's a lot of old ski areas around Colorado that just didn't make it, and you could still go hike them, and there's some lodges up in spots. They're really all over Colorado. So it'd be interesting to see, if this could spur interest in developing some of these lost ski areas around the state. We have a pretty robust ski resort industry in Colorado, and we're not necessarily lacking for ski terrain, but it's interesting to watch. And could the argument be raised that we are lacking in private ski terrain?
Well, Jason, you've covered Colorado's mountain resort areas for a long time now. What does this battle say to you about this moment and kind of where we are right now?
Well, it's interesting. I live in Eagle County, so right up the road here above the Colorado River, we've got this development plan at Sweetwater Lake. For about 50 years, Sweetwater Lake, very similar to Stagecoach, was privately owned, and developers came and went thinking, oh, I want to build a private golf course. Oh, this would be a great place for a private lake. Oh, let's build a water bottling plant. And eventually, a couple of years ago, the White River National Forest acquired the land and partnered with Colorado Parks and Wildlife to create what could be the newest state park in Colorado. That has not sat well with the community. Like Stagecoach, there is a community up at Sweetwater. But it just strikes me as you kind of look at these places that haven't been touched. So it's been 50 years that anything's happened at Stagecoach, 50 years since anything has happened at Sweetwater. So on one hand, you've got a private developer saying, hey, let's cater to the uber rich. On the other hand, at Sweetwater, you've got a parcel that's now owned by 340 million Americans. There's two really different sides of this coin and this argument of how best to use some of these really beautiful undeveloped corners of Colorado. And these are two different sort of extremes that are interesting to watch on both sides.
Jason Blevins is a reporter covering the ski industry and the outdoors for the Colorado Sun. Jason, thanks so much for talking with me today.
Of course, Erin.
As Coloradans, we know you have opinions on private ski areas, and we want to hear what you think about this or any other topic. Send us an email or a voice memo to noco@kunc.org. That's NOCO@kunc.org. That's it for us today on In The NoCo. I'm Erin O'Toole. Thanks so much for listening.